But when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a Star Wars fighter pilot, an intergalactic war dog shooting down droid ships in my backyard. I vividly remember my mom helping me create a space console driving thing out of some cardboard and kitchen utensils. But if I came out here at the age of 26 dressed as a Star Wars pilot, you'd probably make a face. Today, you're probably wondering what a 26-year-old kid from Belmore, alumnus turned teacher, is here to talk about today. We need dreamers. We need passionate change, and that only comes from people with big vision. So hopefully at the end of this, you'd just start to dream. Now, my story of the almost heroic Star Wars pilot is something we can trace back in our minds. Some of us wanted to be astronauts, pilots, presidents, or prehistoric dinosaurs. I apologize for the alliteration. When we're kids, we're told that we could be anything that we dream of. As we get older, we're told to be realistic. No one has done anything of significance by being realistic. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Neil Armstrong, J.K. Rowling, Amelia Earhart, Susan B. Anthony. Imagine if they listened to the people around them that told them to be realistic. It'll never happen. What the world would look like today. How many of you have a dream? How many of you have a goal? How many of you will realistically hit your goal? See, the fact that some of your hands went down or not up at all means that I influenced your thinking with my own small-mindedness. But it's not your fault. Having goals and simply having them do little to nothing for you. Instead, we should dream. And not just dream some, dream big. I was told I wouldn't get a teaching job on Long Island. I'd never teach at Mepham High School. Thank you. But how does a kid fight back against that? Dream. And don't just dream some, dream really big. I made it my mission to obliterate those notions. And I attach my emotions to them. If I don't get the job, if I don't become a teacher, and if I don't get to teach at Mepham, what does my life look like in 5, 10, 15 years? And it made me cry. Ask yourselves that. Do your dreams bring you to tears? Because if they don't, are we dreaming big enough? One of my mentors, Greg Kapp, says, we have to have a dream so big we can't achieve it until we grow into the person who can. And not to fit the size of our dreams into the size of an opportunity. Just because someone doesn't see you for what you feel you're worth, doesn't mean you need to create a dream that they approve of. In the mid-90s, this man, who you all probably recognize, the co-founder of Apple and innovator Steve Jobs, did an interview. And in the interview, the guy asked him a question. Tell me about this internet thing. Yes, children, there was a world without the internet. Steve Jobs answers, you know all the retail industry in this world? It'll be done on there. The interviewer, with this look, you would have thought Steve Jobs was the greatest comedian of all time because of the baffled expression on his face. But Steve just sat there serious as ever. Do you think he went home that night and changed his vision of the future because one person disapproved of it? I constantly find myself daydreaming. I often have to refocus myself from daydreaming. But daydreaming is the sport of geniuses and the playground of the gods. You can do anything, be anything, and create anything you want there. You can use that to manifest your entire life. But what if we're not visualizing our dreams? So I did an experiment. In the 4 years since I've learned about TED, I thought of myself standing on a little red dot, talking to a room full of strangers. And I visualized what it would look like. So I created a vision board, which there's a workshop for today, and I hope you got to visit it. And I filled it with some of these images, quotes, a microphone, a crowd, to motivate me to see what it would be like standing here. I didn't just think it, I acted it, I dreamt it every day. I remember 2 years ago, my mom said to me from her bedroom, you should really do a TED Talk. Look, Mom. One of the people that I admire most, because dreams are not useless, they're not feeble, is Steven Spielberg. He visualized his reality. When he was a kid, all he wanted to do was make movies. With this big thing that you'd probably call a lunk of metal, it was a camera, he used to make amateur films. He took the Universal Studios tour and would hop off early, wait for the tour to leave, and then walk up to the security gate and continuously have conversations with the security guard repeatedly. He'd show up in a suit. The guard thought he was an intern and let him in. He talked to everyone from stage crew to actors, actresses, directors, and producers until he got one of his films in front of the right person. A short time later, he was handed the screenplay to Jaws, and the rest was history. He's no different from every single one of us. He visualized his dreams and acted as if each day was a gift on purpose for him to achieve them. Yes, people probably told him he was unrealistic to think he'd be the world's greatest director, but he didn't listen. I personally love the story of this woman. She was an older woman when she finally waltzed out on the stage at Britain's Got Talent, and she stood there, much like I am standing here today. And when Simon Cowell asked her, "What's the dream?" she said, "To be a professional singer." The crowd rolled their eyes, including the judges, and laughed. But there she stood, smiling. And then she hit that first note and sent shivers through the crowd because they realized they were witnessing greatness. She famously went on to have the best-selling album in the UK, I Dreamed a Dream, and toured all over the world, and said this: she didn't care what people thought. She didn't listen to the vision of what people said she should be. She had a vision of what she wanted to be. And she worked and waited 47 years till she got there. She didn't care about the critics, the bullies, the disbelief, or the disapproval of others. She had a dream, and she visualized it. Now close your eyes. Don't fall asleep. Picture the most successful person you can think about. What are they wearing? Who are they with? What's in the background? What sounds do you hear as you picture this person? Vividly see them. How do they sound and what might they say? Now take all of that and replace the image with an image of yourself. Why is it so difficult for us to picture ourselves as that person? We need to figure out what it is that we want from life and ask ourselves one question. Is what we're doing now going to get us there? Because if the answer is no, we really have to stop and think and then begin to dream until our inner voice becomes so loud and gives us a vision so enormous that disbelief becomes hunger. If we crave it, we really want it, we'll do everything and anything in our power to get that dream. When people try and knock us off our path from our dream, we're going to be so focused on where we're going, we don't have time for where we're at now or what they're saying or the opinion of others. You want to be in the world of dreamers. But why? One dream acted upon daily can change our lives. But all dreams acted upon collectively can change the world. So as you leave here today, I hope that you just begin to dream big, dream passionately, but simply dream. Thank you.